Welcome back to Yeti episode 67. We're still at Tirreno Adriatico, now on stage 4, and we lead the overall after winning stage 3, sweeping the podium and then some. So we have work to do to defend. 7 riders in the breakaway, holding it at 4 minutes solo for many kilometers is Pogacar. So we've wasted one rider for the most part, but as we approach what is a very big climb on the day, it's a medium mountain stage classification wise, and then a shorter secondary climb with a short finishing climb, just 800 meters, 4.5% on the way to the finish line, 4.3 kilometers with just under 8% average gradient on that penultimate climb. But here, that climb's awfully short, but you don't get much of a recovery. And so I expect this first climb, the 9K and 8%, to do a lot of damage to the field and really thin things out. And we're going to have to control that and control that breakaway. 2 riders in the breakaway are decent climbers. Like, they've got mid-70s for their ratings. The others are all weak, below 70. The 2 guys that do have a decent mountain rating are like 8 minutes down overall, so they're not a threat at 4 minutes off the front. But Pogacar's gonna have to do the work, and we're coming up on that 60K, so I've got to get Derek G to go get water. Race day conditions are good, but not great. We've really stacked the deck for this race, meaning that we are fitness peaks for some of them, objectives for all of them, 99% fitness for all of them. Early in the seasons, so not suffering from fatigue yet, though somehow Haglund has level 1 fatigue when it's his first objective of the year and he's only raced a few days. Just preparing for this race has caused him a little bit of fatigue as he picked up a lot to get his fitness level where it needed to be. But we're on to the base of the climb, and Pogacar is no longer doing all of the work, and it's time to get these guys to up that effort and hold position. Look how far down there they are in, what, 1K? And Pogacar is definitely not the one at the front anymore. But Millier, he's, you know, not exactly lighting the world on fire, is he? Gap holding at 4 minutes though, so the breakaway is working really hard to try to hold off the charge. First part of the climb is the steepest. We're on that now, 12.5%. Pogacar is beginning the fade.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking.
So we are going to need a replacement for him here at some point. But others are working at the front, and the front group is breaking up. They've dropped quite a few guys now. Yeah, just 3 left at the front. Now 2 left at the front. And it is one of Lescano. Lescano's a good rider. He's charging on towards the top of the climb. Somehow Fagundes, his 75, is struggling. Still 164 here, but I don't want to lose my whole team. Losing one rider seems the best way to go through this one. Take the next climb and make it hard there. Thin the field there. The gap opened to 5 minutes to those front 2 riders, but again, he's got so much less support now than what he had, and this becomes the time when you start to gain on them. Field thins down to 80. Down to 73. Is that riders who have attacked? I'm going to have to double check that one. I think there are some riders. Pitcock on the attack, for example. And it's mostly back together. Pogacar's out, but I think you can actually start to make it difficult here. Time to take control and try to surprise the field a little bit. We've got a long descent to recover, but we've also got a gap to cover with the front teams, and so we'll see if we can get Derek G a little push here, and I'm going to see if I can have Zippinati take over for him here shortly and have G drop to the back, because if G can make it over the top, I can use him again at the base of the next one. So switching on to Zippinati. Meanwhile, like, Pitcock's trying to attack, Martinez is trying to attack, so this is actually a really good strategy, because otherwise those guys would have ridden away. G The gel, helpful, because it's setting him up to hang in there and not get dropped, which is going to allow him to recover on the descent. So G is still with us. That was good timing on the gel. Okay, nice long descent here. And 2 minutes behind, 4 riders left on the front. 2 of them are right here with Kristen. And Pitcock did escape. He wasn't going anywhere, but okay. Harrogats and Lescano. Lescano's not going to be an easy catch at this point. He's doing all the work every time we've checked. He won't be the easiest catch, but at just over 2 minutes, he should be caught. Oh, we split the field for a moment. G, I'm going to have you work your way back up through the team. And we're seeing an acceleration. We're going to swap G now. And we're going to push on. So Zippinati drops to second wheel. And there's another split in the field. And just 2 riders left and just 2 minutes. So here's what G can do for us with the downhill rating. We're just pushing on and making it really hard on the field right now before we hit that climb.
Watch out, a team leader is falling behind.
And outside of G and Zippinati, everybody else is still in recovery mode, which further down the order, they might not necessarily be in as solid of a recovery mode because they don't have teammates in front of them, and somehow we've, at 99 effort, others have made contact. Partially it could be as we stretch the field more and more and it pulls it back to another group that's doing flat 99s, but we're about to hit the climb. 7K from the top of it. Zippinati gel. Everybody but Pogacar is here. We do not want to be climbing it at 99, so as we level off, we're going to hit about a 92 for the only lightly punchy Derek G, who does sit 4th overall. We are going to be sacrificing his 4th place position here. He's out of red bar. Give me a little bit more effort, Mr. G. 4K from the top. 4K from the top. Just a minute 20 from those front guys on his Zippinati. G is done. 5 riders. I don't want to be down to 1 at the top of this, but I'd love to see this peloton blow up. Slowly, we are dropping riders. 89 left. Still 2K from the top. Zippinati. The other rider who's not in the top 10. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, and 9th here as we're starting to split the field. 77 now. 1K from the top. Montez. Off you go. Zippinati, try to hang with. There's those last 2 riders. Nearly reeled in. Red bar will recover on the descent, so he can keep on pushing. Down to 1 rider left. It's Lescano.
The pack is slowly whittling away
and
the lead.
Montez.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway.
62. That's a lot. That's a lot of riders still there. 60 as we properly crest. 2 more dropped. Zippinati is still here. He will stay behind, though. I'm not going to run him. We're going to go 99 effort flat out. That's everybody. That's Gross on the attack. It's a little bit flatter through here. Montez does not have the red bar, but he's got a great 78 descent, so he should be able to catch back up. Gel for Abdullah. Haddad and Hagland. Montez leading out 3 riders. He shouldn't lose time, but we are pushing him pretty hard. 3K. Can we attack coming out of this corner? Kind of.
Wow, that's one attack that's going to
It's separation? No, that's not separation. 1K from the finish. Abdullah attacking. Haddad attacking. Gross is going to hang on, isn't he? Gross is going to win the stage. We were doing 99 and we couldn't keep up. We didn't have the red bar. That's what allowed him to separate. Abdullah gets 2nd. Haddad gets 3rd. Hagland is 4th. The GC is still secure with Gross taking the win. Hagland does not get a bonus 2nd, though, as we were kind of in order. That finish was short. There is separation. It's a medium mountain stage. Separation will be given in the various groups. But we survived the test. 7 seconds and 1 late attack on the descent, even though we were going full gas, away from our second straight 1, 2, 3, 4 finish. Instead, it becomes a 2, 3, 4, 5 finish. He's going to gain 17 seconds, but Abdullah and Haddad also gain 6 and 4. Hagelin, Montez, same group through Pidcock at 16th. Right? Yeah, let's bail out the guy on the medium mountain stage that's half a minute down when these guys were 7 seconds down. That's this game for you. 35 seconds to the next group, and then a minute 48. So there is one split in that main group, but it didn't catch everybody out. Abdullah now leads with his 6-second time bonus. Second time he's done that, and is +5 daily because he's the one already on a fitness peak. Haglund is second now. Kind of lifts the pressure just a little bit. Haddad is third. Montez is now fifth. Same time as Malassi. Gross up to 6th, 43 seconds behind. Vlasov, Uchabrooks, Pidcock, Gegenhardt are your top 10. So, freaking Pogacar is here. Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. I don't understand how Pro Cycling Manager does something that you don't get in real life. Every race has the best riders. How do they not die of fatigue? The real world, far fewer days raced for top riders, and it's hard for you to manage that as a team boss in the game. But the AI doesn't seem to have any issues with it. Pogacar's at every big race. He takes races 7 days, takes 2 days off. Races 7 days, takes 2 days off, and doesn't seem to be worse for wear. It's not quite how it goes, but it's pretty dang close. I think I'm exaggerating a little bit, but only a bit. I know I saw in the proposed changes video, especially the community one, that a lot of you have brought that up and noticed that that it's not a realistic start list race by race. It's a bit too strong compared to what it should be. It's the Queen stage for Tirreno Adriatico, stage 5 of 7, and the big mountaintop finish. A lot of work ahead of us in more ways than one. First off, we've got 4 of the top 5, right? So trying to protect that position, but to make it even more difficult is this breakaway group and the quality in this breakaway group. And even though Zippinati is putting in an effort, these guys are pulling away. Those two, no problem, but Dunbar, 75 for his climbing. Hansen, okay, 71's fine. Tejada, 74. So we've got 2 decent climbers. Sebra, 79 with an 80 medium mountain. 249 down overall. We gotta watch that. How far down overall are they in particular? Because Sebra's not the only one here that's quite good. Zana, 3rd, good climber with the 1 excellent climber. Kristen was in the last break. Leal, another 4th, good climber. And then Burhi, 80 mountain. 18 minutes down though. So 249 is that key. We can't let this group get that far away. And at the moment, it's 5 minutes and Zippinati doing all of the work. We're going to climb harder and faster here, especially because you know that KOM-wise, they're going to push at the top of that climb and try to extend that out. So we've got to keep these guys in check. Zippinati handling the climbs. I'm going to rotate between him and Derek G. I got a really poor draw today as a team. We've got a net -6 compared to what was expected, so definitely losing some points. But Hagelin's got a +4. Haddad, the other top guy, has a +2. I've still got those 4 guys that are well placed. We've got a real shot at things, but Zippinati barely keeping it in check at 5 minutes, pulling back a little bit of time, but I'm sure right now they're attacking. It's Sebra's attacking, so they're going to pull out a little more gap, even though we've pulled it back into about 4 minutes. But I think when we hit the top of the climb here, you're going to see that open up again. As it does, yes, back to 5 minutes. So at least we stabilized it. Now's the time to switch off, though. Zippinati, climber, not flat-rated guy. So Derek G is the flat-rated guy, so we're going to have him come forward at about a 70. Zippinati can now switch and protect Haddad. I'd let Derek G do the work for a while. With a 5.5 minute gap, so we've got a dangerous breakaway in terms of numbers, in terms of the gap, and in terms of the quality. As there was, 5 good climbers and 2 great climbers. So 7 of 10 are pretty threatening today. Luckily, we've got one team at least offering some support on this chase. Bump it up a little higher to a 72. I'd like to see that gap just start to inch down, or at least just keep that group under pressure.
The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams can't be happy with
Never
the
have a chance to, relax. 142k to go. We're gonna have to get water for the first time soon. I'm gonna have Pogacar do that. There we go. We are starting to see the gap inch downward. It's come down by about 15 to 20 seconds now. We're going to start rolling a 73 because it had stabilized once again, and now we start to inch it back down. So 5 minutes, the gap. Pogacar completes the water task. A lot of undulation. This is really the only flat portion of this. Well, there's not really anything flat. Even now we're on a slight descent. Back down to 430 though, so we're starting to get it under control. I love that I'm getting some support on this and we're not the only team doing the work. Front group has split over that little hill. 4 riders have been dropped back. Gaps at 40 seconds between them. Would love to see that continue on and not have them come back together, but they make it back up there. And it's out to 5 minutes, so those 6 riders attacked. They attacked the group. And we've got some riders out the back of the peloton as well, partially from crashes. I've experienced some crashes already. Derek G in the opening kilometers crashed and was out the back and had to make his way back into the peloton. Okay, a lot more undulation. I think when we get up to this Cat 3 climb, I'm going to switch G with Zippinati once again. But gap is currently at 345. 345. All 10 still together. And 88k left. So we're making our way pretty quickly right now. And yeah, slowly bringing them back in. And let's go Zippinati. Okay, as we're coming up on it, go ahead and come up. We'll go 73 because that seems to be a good pace right now. And then once you get up there you go. We'll go back and protect Haddad again.
Fall in the pack.
Swap the climber for the flat rated guy. 3.5 minutes. 3.5. 80k, a little too early on the water, so not yet. The other team chasing a little bit harder, pushing a little more. Gap stays the same though, so that front group is pushing on pretty hard. So let's start going 75, which means we also need to start telling everybody else to up that effort to about an 80. Hold position, stay near the front. Peloton's shrinking, not those riders that are getting dropped are not regaining contact. But jeez, then we just lost Pogacar. We're not stopping for Pogacar though. He's well out the back. Well out the back. He crashed all by himself. Put him on auto. I don't think he's going to make it back. I'd like to see him try though. I would like to see him try. Let's push on at like an 85. Can you regain some contact here? Flat rating and climbing are both, so I don't like his chances of getting back up. I mean, he's 2 minutes behind by the time he's up. He was right at the front of the group. He was right behind Zippinati. At least it's a domestique, but it hurts because we've already used up 2 domestiques, a lot of their energy, just leading and chasing a breakaway that still has 3.5 minutes. Right? That has not changed for the last 50k. And those 2 are, just getting weaker and weaker. Everybody else is okay, but you're down to 4 guys that are okay. Pogacar at least was a 5th guy, the 3rd domestique that hadn't been used up yet. Definitely a little concerned. Pogacar is almost back in contact though. Push a little bit harder right now. Reality is he has not gained much ground, and we know that Zippinati is not leading. In fact, look at everybody else getting a little bit of blinking red, just a little bit. So they're pushing about an 81, 82. He's pushing an 87, so he's, you know, just barely inching his way back in, but he has inched his way back in. And I'm just telling him to come forward. Also, timing-wise, now would be the time to get water. .313 the gap, so it is coming down a little bit more. They accelerated, putting that big crash there. A lot of riders down. Arietta, probably the biggest name of that bunch. The only good news about two of the best climbers being in the breakaway today is the fact that, one, the gap we were talking about was 249. It's 312, so it's barely above that. And two, them being out front all day is putting them under pressure. And with that pressure, Pidcock with the puncture, you would assume he's out of the group. I mean, yeah, we have not made our way that far forward with Pogacar.
Those guys up front aren't going to be making too many friends today.
Is he out, though? There's Arietta, the group that crashed. I do not see Pidcock anywhere. So Pidcock did not drop out the back of the group. He just dropped to the back of the group. And then Pogacar just lost contact again. So his group, that looks a lot like... There's Pidcock. There's Ineos. Ineos has been dropped. He did lose contact. And all of a sudden you're down to 67, chasing 10. And the gap's at 244. So we're already back into the right side of having the virtual lead again. And the peloton has already shrunk by half, 40k to go. Pogacar is in contact though, but they're at the back, and they expended a lot of extra energy to bring their man back forward. This is good news for us, as that's one of the favorites, right? Pogacar does not have any freaking energy to do this though. Try again. It's fairly flat for the next little while, and he's getting a little recovery there, but we need water so bad. But if I send anybody else right now, they have to drop all the way behind Pogacar. It's not just a small drop back. So either I need to get Pogacar out of the group and just let him go do his thing, or he needs to come forward with water. Right now I'm trying to see if he can come forward with water. Let's use his gel to help with this, because literally this is all he's good for at this point, is giving us water. Zipinati is still up there. He's nearly spent. Let's gel up for him. Pogacar.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has
Pogacar's about to drop. Here's what we're going to do. I don't have to worry about G, but I do need to worry about these guys. Zipinati's going to get dropped soon anyway, so I'm going to do this. Drop back, you guys. Drop back to Pogacar. Drop back to Pogacar. Get the water. Get the water. Get the water. Get the water. Perfect. Now, get back in position. Alright, we went back to Pogacar to get the water. Zipinati, it's not going to work, but he's going to get dropped soon anyway. He'll just have to get water once he's solo and out the back. Speaking of out the back, group, one by one, more and more riders are lost. It's already down inside half, and we haven't even hit the climb. Front group hasn't lost a single rider yet, but that gap's down to 1:50. So it's looking very unlikely. There you go. Zipinati got his water. We're not having a chase. The chase is on. There's other teams putting it in. G is protecting Haddad. We need him to protect Hagland, the leader, the main leader. We need to also protect Haddad, though. So Abdullah or Montez. Montez has the stamina and is 5th overall, 76, but Abdullah has a better climbing rating, but not the stamina. 78's pretty good, though. 78 is pretty good. 85 is great, but better climber, right? So we'll protect Haddad. Okay, penultimate climb, just a hill here, but we're nearly to the top of it. Okay, I'm setting the climbing legs, and G, I should have gelled up for him earlier. Down to 58. Front group down to 9. They dropped a rider. And you can see another group of riders are getting
it's going to start breaking
dropped
up.
now. Panamar, I did not set him to auto. Let's do that. Ryan, 78 with a 79 stamina, and he's out. I mean, outside of Nils Pollitt, there's a lot of quality. Hagita, 75. Most of these guys are pretty crass as 77. We're down to 53. And that front group is so much less threatening right now because they've been out front all day. Right? All that work they've done, it's going to be hard for those two very quality guys to
15 kilometers to the finish line.
make it to the top. So I've got 4. I'm not having to work. I've got to watch that gap, though. If that gap suddenly goes out and the other teams aren't interested in chasing, we're going to have to go early. 13.5K to go to the finish. The climb is 13.2. 1,300 meters, 6.7% average gradient, but it's count. Wow. Timing. I mean, like, we just went through all this with Panamar, and it didn't hurt with Panamar. Abdullah is number 1 overall. He's in the leader's jersey. Now, he's not my leader. Like, he's my number 3 guy right now. Montez is number 4. Abdullah's number 3. Haddad's number 2. Haglin's number 1. So for that part, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But he's literally wearing the leader's jersey for this race. What happens now, right? Do the other teams back off? Do they attack on? Like, how does this change things? Abdullah's going to be climbing solo from here, though. Gel early. He's about to be climbing. I'm just going to let him. Here's where you really start the climb. They counted it, you know. That's already 2K. Wait. That's Leal from the break. Berkmos. Okay. Not that strong of a guy, but we're down to 49 in that peloton, and Abdullah can't climb in 82 for long, but I'm trying to, you know, climb well for now. Finn. Shreddle. 80. How many guys have we already see go out the back? Arnsman. 78. Albanese getting dropped. We're down to 45 with 9 still up the rope, but only 50 seconds ahead. The 9 are accelerating. It's back out to 109. 8K from the finish. I've got my 3 guys, and then Abdullah trying to make his way forward. There's Quentin Herman's dropped. I'm not counting on Abdullah for anything right now. This is more about waiting to go. I mean, this gets pretty steep in the last 5K. Quite steep in the last 5K. And at that point, we're going to... Montez, I'm going to gel up early. 6K out. Down to 8 at the front, by the way. They dropped a rider, and the gap's coming back down. We've nearly caught them. 4 riders dropped of that group. Let's see which 4 is. Piccolo. Surprised those 2 guys have hung on that long, but Dunbar and Hansen. The last 4, Tejada, Zana, and of course the 2 you would expect, right? Bertie and Zebra. Abdullah, nearly in contact, but it's 5K, so you've got to climb less crazily. Harper, 78 is dropped. Van Aert at the back of the group. Just 4 away now. Just 4 away. Our 3 guys hanging on pretty well with 4.5K. Montez, there's the gel. Haddad, we're going to gel. For now, I'm just going to hold position a little bit longer. 30 seconds behind those guys. 38. We're okay, our front guy doesn't have the tempo anymore. Abdullah's in contact. Abdullah has made contact, but we are so not worried about him right now. So Montez is going to climb at like an 80. And then Haddad's going to follow, and then Haglin follow that. It's time. Time for us to control the race. And there's your Pogacar, Milesi, McNulty on the go. Hanging on, 33 left, small group. 3 left off the front now, and I'm guessing it's our 2 from the break plus Pogacar leading them out. While Montez, it's 2K. 2K. So speed it up. 1.8 onto Haddad. Haddad's going to take over. Montez try to hang on. Abdullah is already dropped. Abdullah, just give me 99 effort. Keep going. Another 80 mountain guy. Another 79 mountain guy. Another 80. 80. Pidcock, done. 75. Globe, 80. Insane ratings, right? Uchabrooks, 81, 82 is hanging on. We're coming up on that 1K banner, and we're down to 2 left off the front. It's Pool, 80, and Pogacar. Pogacar's heading for a stage win. He's a minute 13 down overall. It's a minute 28 for Pool, and we are a minute behind. Hagland and Haddad, that's the ones we're watching. 1.1K, so Haddad pushing on, setting up Hagland, right? 90. 700 meters.
And
sprinting.
it's a solo victory for the Slovenian
And
Tadej
Hagland.
Pogacar.
Okay, a little early on that. We're not going to get a top 3 here, but that's a pretty good result for how many 80, 81, 82 mountain guys there were. Just an insane amount in this field. Remember, they all have +4 on top of that. So, we're going up against a 86.3 or something Pogacar. Just crazy ratings. That, okay, I got an 81 because Hagland's got a +4. It made it close, made it competitive. But think about how much, like, I had 2 guys handle the breakaway all day. So we're down 2 domestiques. Then we have Pogacar crash. Then we have Abdullah crash. So I end up with 3 guys to manage that whole field, and we get a top 5, and 7th, and 10th. Burhi and Seabrook got 12th and 13th. Pidcock was 15th. Abdullah was 20th still. I mean, after what happened, he still managed to get 20th on the stage. We're going to still be very well placed GC. I don't think Pogacar gained enough to actually take the lead away from us, though Abdullah had the lead. Obviously, he won't have it. But Hagland was 2nd. Only a few seconds behind that. He might be in the leader's jersey, but I would almost prefer Pogacar to have like a 1-second lead over us, because then that can take the pressure off on the next stage. And stage 7, the final stage, is a time trial. Whoa, it was a minute 3 down. Pogacar really pushed on that final 500 meters and had a little bit left in the tank. It was 40 seconds behind. He pulled out another 23. So Pogacar, he was what, a minute 13 down? Add a 10-second time bonus? Minute 13. Does he have the race lead by count back? He might. That's crazy. I just hope that they don't put Hagland in the jersey and then have Pogacar in second, 0 seconds down. That would be terrible for us. Pogacar wins the stage. Pool gains only a little bit of time. That's pretty ideal for us in the Hagland Haddad front. Montez does well at just a minute 49 down. Abdullah 3:44 behind. Those gaps open up pretty quick, so the GC is going to largely be these 20 riders, but we were well placed before, and we're going to at least carry that advantage into, clearly Abdullah is still going to be in the top 20. He'll still probably be ahead of most of these guys, so he could be 14th, 12th. The others will definitely still be in the top 5 to 8-ish. Okay, well, let's see. What's the damage? Pogacar leads by 2 seconds. Okay, Pogacar has a 2-second advantage. That's ideal. Now, here's the thing. Pogacar is going to go on and win this race overall. He's got an 80 time trial. We're not going to overcome that. So we're not going to win the overall. But if we can get a very good GC finish, if we can get 2 guys up or around the podium, nearby to the podium, top 5 at least, and another top 10 and another, top 15, 20-ish, then we're talking about a really good haul of points and helping secure that first place for next year, right? This race turns into that, plus a snowball, as we've already won a stage. So it makes this a very, very good race for us. Next stage, stage 6, is a little punchy one. Those are the ones that I tend to fare well with the lead out. We might have a shot at a second win. And I wouldn't mind going into the final stage with that lead, even though we obviously won't beat Pogacar. Hagland is getting better and stronger and more competitive, but he's still just 21 and still just a 74 time trial, so he's not going to beat Pogacar. No freaking way. 2 seconds down. Haddad is 4 seconds down. Pool is a minute 7. Boitrago is a minute 9. Montez minute 19. So you've got a small group here that's definitely close. Koos and Kristen, Montez 69 for his time trial. Haddad's a 66 for his time trial. They'll struggle a bit. The whole group is gonna slip down a little bit with that time trial, but the next stage could and should be good for us. Abdullah, so unlucky. That was bad luck. We weren't the only ones to experience some bad luck. Pitcock did as well. He's at 258 behind. But the rest of those guys didn't have any bad luck. They were quite fortunate. So tough circumstances, right? We burned through 4 riders either through inopportune crashes and or just having to keep the breakaway in check because we were the leaders, which I told you was a problem. That was a problem for us, and we came out of that pretty good. 2 guys on the podium, and Taddy Pogacar. Freaking Taddy Pogacar. Enough said, right? That's going to do it for this episode, though. We will finish this race up, the last 2 stages, next time. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.